Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Come on in, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. What is up, everybody? Good to see you. Happy almost Friday. Holidays are coming fast. I see people getting into the spirit. Kathy Pentecost from the UK, my girl, just gifted a Guilty of Crime membership, and I hope that whoever got that membership really wants one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you, Kathy, for all you do. Boy, do we have boy do we have a plot twist in this. And first I called it the twisted plot revealed. Rebecca Parker's baby dumped in a cooler, then thrown into the trash can. But guess what, guys? Instead of a twisted plot, there's a plot twist in this story, several plot twists in this story, and that's because of how many people that we have involved. And when I told you that somebody's going to talk, there's going to be a leak, and I thought originally that it would be none other than Kimberly Park, the sister. Then I flip flopped on that because her mom, Courtney, the biological mom that in fact did the most damage, is the one that I thought was going to flip when she said she was going to tell everything. So now we've got two people that are flip flopping and four people that are pointing fingers at each other. He did it, she did it, I did it because that. So, guys, buckle up and pay attention because this is a crazy true crime case that you can't make up. I couldn't have made this up if I tried. All right, guys. So come on in, hit the like button, get yourself some memberships. As you know, we're doing stuff all month, giving things away, and you just don't know when. All right, guys. So again, in a plot twist, and let me add this up so you can see these characters just a little bit better while I run through what the plot twist or twisted plot is. Now, listen, guys, last time I streamed on this case, I still had a hope and a prayer that baby Richie might be alive. We now know the baby Richie is not alive, and the murder of Rebecca Park, the biological mom, the alleged husband, the fiance, and the sister are all intertwined in this case. And it just gets even crazier when you hear the actual story. Now, I'm just going to quickly tell you the story from what I remember. Then I'm going to read all the documents. So we've got Rebecca, who's the victim, and baby Richie in the case, and everybody's getting caught and starting to talk. Now, at the top of the story, it's told by, and it changes. So don't worry if you get lost, we're going to catch you up and we're going to keep this going. First and foremost, her sister tells the story and the mom tells the story. And as the story goes, which is not a story, it's actually pure evil. All right. Mom, biological mom that Rebecca hadn't met ever. She met her around 18. She's now 22. They tell her, we're going to go for a drive. They're going to get her into a ruse, get in the car. We're going to go see what's going on with the baby shower. No worries, no worries. So they take her out somewhere where the body's found. We're not sure if that's the crime scene just yet. And allegedly, supposedly, they go in and they cut the baby out. When I say they, I'm talking about biological mother and stepfather, all right, and her stepfather, Bradley Bartholomew, and bio mom, okay, the both of Bartholomew's. It gets a little bit crazy with the names. They take her out there, they cut the baby out very violently, 14 stab wounds. They take the baby out, and the reason, I know you want to know why, we just haven't got there, and it keeps changing. The reason was that they wanted to have a baby, and they were going to take the baby because they couldn't have one. That's one story. Another story was, I just wanted the 2000. And then another story was some conspiracy plan due to jealousy. And I'm going to tell you, the biological mom is cold as ice. They cut the baby out, right? 14 stab wounds, not an easy incision. Okay. They cut the baby out. And while they're cutting the baby out, Rebecca Park is still alive, and she's looking at these people that are cutting the baby out and talking to her and telling her, don't worry, we're gonna take the baby. All right, we're gonna take the baby, letting them know what they're gonna do. They plan to keep the baby. As a matter of fact, they gave CPR to the baby for almost 15 minutes. They tried to save the baby, but the baby died. So they put the baby in a cooler, in a bag, and then they took the bag to a trash that was not in their neighborhood. Now, again, this story is going to change a little bit as we read and go through it because they keep lying and changing it. But the major reason in this case that almost everyone is giving is they wanted the baby. They didn't mean to kill the baby. They wanted to keep the baby either for themselves or to sell. Money and jealousy, that is the motive in this case, whether you look at the changing story or not. Now listen, guys, trigger warning, a huge trigger warning in this case. While they were cutting the baby out and whispering to her what was going to happen, guess what Bradley Bartholomew did? He slit her throat from ear to ear. He slit her throat and put her out of her misery. Then they gave this story that somebody else came. We don't exactly know who. Was it? And again, we'll get into it. Was it Isaiah? Was it the roommate of Becca? Who was it that did this? I don't know if they put a rope on her or what, but somebody dragged her by the feet and they threw her off the side, or they dropped her body somewhere, and that's where she was ultimately found. So I'm sure there's a certain crime scene where some of it happened, another scene where they dumped the body, and then somewhere else where the baby was. So, I mean, and this is just me off the top of my head telling you the plot twist, but because there's many more twists and turns in this case, as you'll see, and as I read, the story changes to fit whatever person is telling who. Again, like I said before, one word, 4 letters, meth. All right. Again, trigger warning because I just started and this is already just the most disgusting and hard to listen to cases. I know many people need a break. So if you need a break, walk away, come back, or rewatch it. All right. A little behind, but man, I'm sure she was hoping the baby would be okay at least. This is pure evil, in my opinion. Diabolical as well. But when you're doing a whole bunch of DRUGs and you're mathematicians and you're trying to get a baby out, they could have done it much differently. They could have let her have the baby and they could have taken it that way. They could have lots of other things. But when you get a bunch of mathematicians, well, that's what you get. So now I'm going to start reading the document, showing the affidavit. The affidavit's long, so I'm not going to read 20 pages, but I'm going to give you the bottom line of what they're saying. And again, it changes. So if you get confused, please, it's not that I'm not trying to answer you, but just know that it's going to twist and turn again. And I won't be able to answer questions until I'm done telling you what's going on in the case. So bear with me. Talk to each other in chat. Let's support each other. Angel of Light, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker. All right, a bunch of mathematicians. Thank you. Thank you towards our goal. I appreciate you so very much. All right, let's just start off the top really quick. Murder of Rebecca Park, biological mom with her husband. So both the Bartholomews cut the baby out, slit her throat, and placed the baby in the cooler after it died in trash bags and dumped it. That's the gist of it. All right, Wexford County, Michigan. Today's December 11th, 2025. The investigation is ongoing into the murder of 22-year-old Rebecca Park and unborn child, baby Richie. Northern Michigan and the nation now has hopped onto this story, revealing the events and a web of family betrayal. As of today, there are 4 individuals: Rebecca Park's mother, stepfather, sister, and fiancé have been implicated in various aspects of the case. November 4th, we're going to go back to November 4th real quick. Rebecca Park, 38 weeks pregnant, reported missing by Wexford County Sheriff's Office. She was last seen in Manitou, Michigan, where she lived. Now fast forward to November 25th, and Rebecca Park's body was discovered in Manistee National Forest. Authorities confirmed that she had been red-rummed and her unborn baby child missing. Now, back then, I thought we could still find the baby. I came on here and was like, let's fine, baby Richie. Even though Rebecca's no longer with us, we can still help a beautiful baby. Not anymore. All right. Not anymore. That's done and gone. Now, late November 2025, court documents revealed that Park's biological mom, Courtney Bartholomew, 40 years old, looking 70 or 80, and stepfather Bradley Bartholomew, 47, were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. The affidavits allege that Courtney, her biological mom, cut the baby from Park while she was still alive. December 3rd to 8th, in the past week, further investigation uncovered that the baby had been placed in a lunch cooler and discarded in the trash. Now, that's the couple's actions that were described by prosecutors: calculating and brutal. December 9th through 10th, the last 2 days, the affidavits and court documents have been released. They're very brutal. That's Courtney, Bradley, and including all the graphic documents with Kimberly, which lies and lies and lies. Now, Rebecca's sister, Kimberly Park, today, and her fiance, Richard Feller, were also arrested. Now, Kimberly, her sister, alleges that she misled investigators, resulting in Failer's initial arrest for open murder. Now, both were arraigned in Wexford County, and the charges against Failer were later dropped. All right, so the key individuals: Rebecca Park, 22 years old; Courtney Bartholomew, 40, biological mom; Bradley Bartholomew, 47, that is Rebecca or Courtney's husband; Kimberly Park, Rebecca's sister; and Richard Failer, the fiancé. All right, current status: Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew remain in custody, facing multiple felony charges. Kimberly was being held on bond. I believe she's out because she's talking. All right. So that is very horrific and disgusting. And I got one more twist for you. And you're going to have many more in the case. If you wanted to hear another twist about these people all sleeping together, all in relationships and intertwined, let me give you another clue. Richard Failer, Rebecca, the victim, and one of the perpetrators, her fiance that lied, was also sleeping with Rebecca's sister, Kimberly. So not only was her fiance having sex with Rebecca's mom at one point, but he was also sleeping with the sister. So now we've got that hairy werewolf Richard up top, sleeping with Rebecca in a sexual relationship, sleeping with the mom in a sexual relationship, and sleeping with the sister. He kept it in the family. All right. So it just gets real messed up the more and more that we go. Now, let me drop this to you. Mother admits to cutting out unborn baby from Rebecca while she was alive. And then we'll get into some of the affidavit stuff. All right. It just keeps on. It just keeps growing. All right. Let's play this. Mother admits, but I'm going to read you some stuff. Mother admits to cutting unborn baby from Rebecca Park while she was alive, affidavit says. Let's go.
We will go ahead and accept this over for another probable cause conference after 30 days to run with Ms. Bartholomew.
Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew, the biological mom and stepfather accused in the torture and murder of Rebecca Park and her infant, appearing in court today. Now, what played out inside the courtroom today could be called routine as the case continues through the steps of the legal process. But
you guys, we're going to focus a lot on what the documents say and the charges with those two, because now her fiance is not yet arrested for those crimes, and these two are heavy on the charges and what they've done. Foxy Amazon, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you got that, please thank her. How could she? Well, she's going to tell us how she could. All right, she's going to tell us.
Documents describing the crimes the Bartholomews are charged with are giving us a glimpse into some disturbing new details. The documents provided by the court after we filed a Freedom of Information Act request reveal what investigators believe are the graphic final moments of 22-year-old Rebecca Park. Our report tonight from Tony Lundy comes with a warning to our viewers because they are very difficult to hear.
22-year-old Rebecca Park was reportedly last seen on November 3rd entering a vehicle outside her biological mother's house. She was reported missing the next day. A week later, law enforcement gave the community the green light.
Well, listen, that's what they are saying, Patricia. You're absolutely right on track because they are absolutely saying, and when I say they, mostly Kimberly, that's the one that's flipping the most. I said that from day one that she would be the weakest link. Although, I mean, Courtney's talking too, but the weakest link keeps lying. But she is saying that the motivation was to keep the baby. They did try to save the baby. They gave the baby CPR for 15 minutes, but they didn't know what they were doing, guys. If they cut the umbilical cord wrong or they suffocated the baby, they cut into the placenta, they're not doctors. They don't know. So, yes, the major motivator was to have the baby, all right, or to keep it.
To search the Manistee Forest, as long as it didn't disrupt their investigation. And on November 14th, volunteers began their search.
And to have that person ripped from you, it really tears at my heart. I want to bring closure to her and her family.
Ironically, we now know that Rebecca was already dead when that search was taking place. According to probable cause documents, Rebecca was killed on Monday, November 3rd. Her body was found by a volunteer searcher on Tuesday, November 25th. We learned Tuesday through probable cause documents that Courtney Bartholomew told investigators that Rebecca was conscious when she cut the baby out and that Bradley was holding a knife to her throat. She went on to say in those documents that she tried to tie off the umbilical cord the best she could, and that when the baby was out, Bradley slit her throat.
Do you see what's happening here? I mean, that is what I'm doubling down on is what those people did to Rebecca. That is the biggest piece of key evidence in this case of who was involved and what happened. What's up? Good to see you, H.L. Davis. And Mo, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Happy Guilty of Crime anniversary to you. Like Counselor Mackey always says, drugs are bad. Okay. What's up, Pink Stars? Good to see you, my friend. MM Clark, always good to see you. The community caught hard for Rebecca and the baby. Yes, what's up, James? That is one evil. Those are evil people, period. And that's just a crazy story. Who could even do that? Or who could even think about that? I can't even believe they're saying this stuff, but they are. And may God rest not only her soul, not only Rebecca, but baby Richie. All right, Kathy, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Let's keep going.
Investigators say it was Bradley Bartholomew who took them to the spot this all happened and told them that the baby never took a breath and he never heard the baby cry. Bradley also said he and Courtney put the baby in a GFL garbage tote at a house north of their residence. Both Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew are facing multiple charges, including torture and murder, and some are describing the crimes as evil personified. In Wexford County, Tony Lundy, Up North Live News.
Now you can.
All right. They've been doing the best coverage in this case. And, I have the affidavits, but reading through them is almost like tedious. So I have them marked and everything. I'm going to just read a little bit of them and then we're going to go into the overview because it would take me 2 hours to read what I just gave you in the last 20 minutes. And I figure you guys want more of the story. Now, who was the baby daddy? Tiff, I believe, said the baby daddy was that an outside person or was it Richard Feller? I originally said it was Richard Feller. I assumed that. But after this, I'm going to go to Rebecca's Facebook and show you the pictures of the profile of Rebecca Park's sonogram. So I was assuming that, and I'm thinking that it is the Richard Feller, the fiancé. Holly, thank you so much. She says, I'll start $1.99. Bam. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. It was said to be Richard Feller's, her fiancé, and that's what I believe the whole time. Why would it be some other dudes? I don't think she was going around doing nasty, nefarious things. It was those people that were. What's up, Emily Jane? Good to see you, my friend. All right, let's keep going. I mean, this is it's a lot. All right, so we got the documents. I want to put them up on Ghost. I just put some news things on Ghost today. Trigger warning. Now, this is the document of Kimberly Sue Park. And again, I'm going to give you the overview of both of them. But in this affidavit, it's really weird the way she flip-flops so many times. All right, now this is Kimberly Sue Park. She is currently not incarcerated, and I have an interview. I'm not going to do it today, but she's talking. She's literally interviewing with a YouTube personality, a YouTube station. She shouldn't be talking, probably. All right, this is her affidavit of probable cause, duly sworn in. Okay, she says on Tuesday, November 4th at 12:44, Kimberly Sue Park. If you guys remember, that's a sister. Let me zoom in. That doesn't help. All right, hold on. That actually makes it worse. You guys aren't going to read that anyway, so it's okay. All right, listen. November 4th, Kimberly Park, date of birth 8/16/2004, reported her 22-year-old sister, Rebecca K. Park, had not been seen since the prior evening. Kimberly identified Rebecca was last known to be with Courtney Bartholomew, her biological mom. And they give the address 30 South 21 and a half Road. All right, Wexford County. Courtney Bartholomew was the biological mom to Rebecca and Kimberly. At the time of report, Rebecca Park was 38 weeks pregnant and living with boyfriend Richard Feller, which, guys, I have no reason to believe that anybody else was the baby daddy or the father. That guy had been dating all three of them, Rebecca's sister, Kimberly, and the mom, Courtney. All right. Again, nothing I found was bad about what Kimberly was doing. Okay. So she reported to law enforcement, and she provided the sheriffs with a cell phone number that identified Rebecca had been using at the time of her disappearance. Kimberly had been communicating with Detective or Lieutenant Chris Piscor throughout the investigation. On Saturday, November 22nd, Kimberly Park made statements on social media on a live broadcast that she was aware of the information that Courtney and her husband Brad had something to do with Rebecca Park's disappearance. Now, remember, all along, Kimberly knows what happened. So the detective interviews Kimberly on the same day, and she reported that Courtney and Brad had struck Rebecca Park in the head to cause her to have a seizure. Okay. Again, trigger warning. Listen, they took Rebecca in the car, posing that they were going to go do something for the baby shower or just whatever to get her into the car. They lied. They hit her in the head and caused the seizure. All right. When they were unable to revive Park from the seizure, Brad contacted a friend. Now we've got another person. We got a fifth person who came and picked Rebecca Park's body and took it away. Where'd they take it away to, and when did the baby get cut out? Now, Park said that Brad had said something about a swamp. Now, during another interview with Kimberly on Monday, November 24th, she told the Sergeant Alicia Baxter that she was and has been in a romantic relationship with Richard Fowler as well. All right, so now you see the connection. You see the connection between Rebecca's fiance, her sister, and her mother. So now we've got three people. He's keeping it in the family, okay? Keeping it in the family. Now, so this is her sister. She's not locked up anymore. Kimberly identified that her relationship with Kimberly's fiance was complicated by his relationship with her sister Rebecca, and he used to date the mom. Now, he's a lot older than all of them. All right, even older than the mom, by the way. Now, on Tuesday, November 25th, a body of deceased woman was found in the Federal Forest Service Road 9784, which is a straight line approximately 2.5 miles west of the Bartholomew's residence. Now, a tattoo above the left eye of the deceased person was consistent with the tattoo above the same eye of Rebecca Park. Park had been sharp force trauma wounds to her neck, guys, and her abdomen had been cut open. All right. The sergeant, Detective Sergeant Voss and Olivia Westone met with Kimberly, her sister, at her residence in Herring Township on November 25th for a non-custodial interview based on the discovery of the body. During the interview, Kimberly Park discussed the relationship details between herself and Richard Fahler, the fiancé. Park made a statement that Fahler had told her that Rebecca had been taken care of and not to worry about it. Now, Park went on to say that Fahler had told her to lie to Detective Piskor and say that Courtney and Brad hit Rebecca over the head and knocked her out, and then they drove her and dumped her body. Kimberly Park was arrested for lying to police and obstructing the investigation. All right. And now Kimberly identified on Tuesday, November 24th, after she waived her Miranda, she waived that prior to the interview. While she was at Richard Fahler's home, he told her that he killed Rebecca and that he wanted to protect Kimberly by not sharing details with her. Park identified that during a different conversation with Fahler, he had told her that something went wrong while trying to cut the baby out of Rebecca. So, do you hear what's happening in this story? I hope you do. All right, because family is a lot more. Family should be tighter than this, and you should not be afraid of your family. And I wish all of them would get the death penalty. I'm going to leave that up there, Connie. Worst Mother of the Year award. All right. And thank you, Holly, for getting that started. Y'all want to help with the goal? We got that up, and I appreciate y'all. All right. I'll put you up there, Muffin. Wow. All right. Now, listen up. All right. So they didn't want to implicate her, and the investigation getting close to him on Thursday or Friday before Saturday when the body was found. Fahler assisted her with the creation of her accusation that she made with Detective Piskor during the interview. There appeared to be an additional unsubstantiated knowledge that Park had about Rebecca. This included a statement about Rebecca possibly have been stored in an unknown location. And like I told you guys, there's a different crime scene than where they found the body. The Sergeant Dan Hackman arrested Richard Fahler for open murder to Rebecca based on the statements by Kimberly. Now we've got two people out of the way, so you know what's happening. All right, the detectives attempted to conduct an interview with Richard at the sheriff's office on Wednesday, and he refused to cooperate without the assistance of his attorney. Now, the detective interviewed Austin Nolan on Wednesday. He denied any involvement and was able to show cell phone data that did not place him in Wexford County. Now, this Austin Nolan is one of the shady characters on that first chart that I brought up. Again, they're implicating another person taking the body away. All right. So his records placed him not in the area on November 3rd or 4th. Nolan cooperated with a consent search of his cell phone and later consent to search of his black in color Chevy Malibu. Nolan did confirm that he previously had been in a romantic relationship with both Rebecca and Kimberly. These people like to keep it in the family, y'all. Now, Wednesday, November 26th, the detectives began a follow-up interview with Kimberly Park and more confrontational with her based on the outcome of the interview. Park requested an attorney, and at that point, it was terminated. All right, now I have more probable causes here for Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew, which I'm not going to read because if I read the whole time, I'm not going to be able to interact with you. But what I will do is read like the first paragraph, and then I'm going to put up what it was that happened. We got a 6-minute, and then I can chat with y'all, give memberships, gift them, whatever I need to do to interact with you. This one's 18 pages, and I'm going to sum it up for you in about 7 minutes after this. That way I don't have to sit here and just read the whole time, and I can get more information out there to you guys, all right? Because it's real bad, real bad. All right. Now, we'll put the affidavits up if you don't have them. I'll put them up on the, and Tiff, if you want to put them up on the Guilty of Crime Ghost platform, please do. This next affidavit is for Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew. All right, duly sworn, they got them together. Listen what they're charged, and then I'll get into it. Duly sworn, Wexford County, following facts based on investigation, swearing the facts, deputy sheriff to establish probable cause, that crime of homicide, first degree, premeditated felony murder, torture, conspiracy to commit torture, assault of a pregnant individual, causing miscarriage, or stillbirth. Conspiracy to commit assault of a pregnant individual, causing miscarriage or stillbirth, unlawful imprisonment, meaning they kidnapped her, and removing a dead body without the consent of a medical examiner was committed by both defendants and the affiant in respectfully seeking a warrant for the defendant's arrest. Now, just quickly, on November 4th, 2025, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a call again from Kimberly Sue Park reporting her sister Rebecca had not been seen since November 3rd. Now, you guys, this is very evil. And the reason I say it's evil, because these people all knew what was going to happen before it did. They all got together and they did this. They all got together and they took the life of Rebecca and the baby. And then they all got their stories together and they lied. All right. That's evil. And it's disgusting. And again, just a word, one word, 4 letters, meth. All right. Let's keep going. Yes, it's bad. And don't worry, I'm not going to have this on the screen the whole time. I just want to get this out to you. All right. So same difference. We know Kim called in. We know everyone's sleeping together. All right. Now listen, deputies spoke to Courtney Marie Bartholomew, who's Rebecca's mom and lives at the address. And she reported that she was with Rebecca the night until 8:30 p.m. when an unidentified friend picked Rebecca up from Courtney's residence. She told them that Courtney had picked up Rebecca from the house, spent some time together, and got ice cream from Culver's. Guys, that's a Culver's that's not the same one, I don't think, but Culver's was where they were giving out shakes for Sebastian. All right. Rebecca told Courtney that she needed Tide Pods, so Courtney returned to her address to get some Tide Pods. Courtney then went to the resident, grabbed the Tide Pods, and came outside. When she came outside, Rebecca told her that she was going to wait at the residence for a friend to pick her up. Rebecca's the victim, right? They waited a couple of minutes, and a black sedan with tinted windows pulled across the road from the residence. Rebecca then proceeded to cross the road, got into the passenger seat. Courtney said she didn't know what specific make or model that the car was or the occupants. She couldn't tell if the driver was male or female. She said that after this, she didn't see Rebecca again. Now, Courtney reported to the deputy that she was contacted by Richard Fowler, her ex, and Rebecca's fiancé regarding her location, and Courtney informed Rich she didn't know where Rebecca was. Courtney was then contacted by Kimberly Park the morning of November 5th and sent a screenshot of the location where Rebecca's phone was pinging. Courtney told the deputy that she proceeded down the road 26 and found Rebecca's phone lying by a 2-track just off the highway, a 2-track, I guess that's a railroad track. The location was less than 200 yards from the house where Courtney checked the phone and thought Rebecca may have dropped it, which we know she's lying now, when she used the restroom. Courtney reported that she took the phone to Richard's residence on November 4th and turned it to him. All right. So Wednesday the 5th, they go on with Kimberly Park, when she arrived to Wexford County, suggested she might know where Rebecca was. Now, we're going to go in and do the 7-minute recap instead of me reading 20 pages. Some stories just shake you. This is it for me. I agree. Gang, rewind, crew, boo. You don't need to rewind just yet. Let me tell you. Before I tell you, I just want to show you something. And I didn't mean to pull that down. Let me put this up there real quick so you guys can see some of the people involved. I just want to pull up this Facebook because someone messaged me earlier and said, Jay, can you please show the Nancy Grace episode? And even though you have much more information, she's got these videos. And I go look at the Nancy Grace, and she didn't have a video. She was just showing Rebecca's Facebook. Okay. 2 tracks are live ORV trails. Thank you, Amy. And thank you all. I appreciate y'all that know and come in and help me fill in the details, because this is a big one. And guys, I cover true crime all the time, almost every day. And sometimes things get crossed. All right. Thank you. But I appreciate you guys for doing what you do. All right. Now listen, Those are sonograms from 2022, but I'm putting up her Facebook and I want you to see. There's Rebecca Park, 8/19/2003 is her birthday, Rebecca's. And then I was looking for dates on here. Again, this is what Nancy Grace showed, 4/5/2022. So I wanted to show you some of the things that Nancy Grace had on. I have two of these actually. I have two Facebooks that I got to go through. One seems to be the latter. And I wonder too about the Tide Pods, what that was. You're welcome, homie. What up? Love you, homie. Appreciate you. All right, so let me just show. I wanted to put that on because, again, someone sent that to me from the crime crew and said, Jay, I like your content the best, but Nancy has some stuff. So I looked on Nancy and lo and behold, there it is. April in Illinois. Jay, you're the best. I always enjoy your content. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I love having James McConnell here. I love when I start getting guys in chat trying to help out and talk. She was so young. All right, let me go through this and then I'll get to the rest of that probable cause affidavits. All right, so just want to show you some of the pictures. Some people didn't realize that she had a tattoo on her forehead. All right, Nettie, I'll take that. Jay's my favorite true crime. I need to be in the mood. I need to get in the mood. So, guys, all you hit the like button, subscribe, get a membership, and drop some nice comments in chat. Right before I came on today, I was getting a little overzealous, and my channel manager, Carly, said, Jay, don't get heated before your show. You're not allowed to. You got to focus on true crime and getting the victim out there and getting the justice. So I calmed down as a true crimer and I relaxed, and now I'm here. So I'll take all the likes, subscribes, and compliments today. All right. Now listen, I just want to show you a few of the pictures so you know 22-year-old Kimberly. All right. Rebecca. I'm looking at Rebecca Failer. Now, this was June 18, 2024. Those are the pictures from there. But she has another Facebook that I'll show you after. I just wanted you to see some of the pictures and like who she was a little bit to capture that. Right? She had other children. There looks like another baby. Could be a nephew. Who knows? But the gist of it is she's a beautiful angel and she did not deserve any of this, and especially from her family. All right, so I'm going to drop this down. I hope you guys saw what you wanted to, and boop, back to you. Boop, right back. All right, justice for Rebecca and baby Richie. New to your channel, shout out to Lisa Spans. Shout out to you and welcome to the crime crew. All right, kindness, Jay, you're wonderful. Thank you. I'll take that. She didn't have a chance with all those people plotting against her. You're absolutely right. Yes, welcome to the channel, Lisa. You're very welcome. Sadie's mama, good to see you, my friend. All right, let's get into the next one. I want you to see this one real quick so you can capture who she was as a person up until this point. Again, she didn't deserve a thing that happened to her. So there she is with the man of the hour. This guy put his into everybody and everything, and he kept it in the family. I can't believe people like this actually exist. It's just not human. I agree. All right. Hey there, Kristen Perry. Good to see you, my friend. And I know, Amy, those small towns are where the meth is made. All right. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's where they make the meth. Blood or not, these people were not her family, and fall in love. I'm with you. All right. It feels like the devil's reject. Now, look at that piece of trash monster. This guy's involved, right? This guy's involved. He knew what happened to his girl. He knew what happened to baby mama, and he did it anyway. He went along with it. All right. So boo to you. Now, look, there's her intro, and it says Richard Scott Lee. That was going to be the baby's name, baby Richie. All right. So I want you to see this. Daddy, set the bar. Now, this irks me, guys. This irks me, and it may trigger warning. You might want to cry when you see this. All right. Clark, I now wait for you to hear the cases. And boy, do I appreciate that. I appreciate you so much for that. All right. Now, listen, I'm going to keep that up there. If y'all want to hop on that, choo, that would be great. All right. Let me put this up. The reason I'm so upset by this is because on October 23rd, she was pregnant, Manton, Michigan, doing her due Daddy set the bar real high. I want you to know, she says, Daddy showed me what a real man looks like in love, basically. All right. This woman was not raised with her mom. She was not raised with any of those people she was not raised with. All right. So her dad probably did teach her what was right. But now let's see, just look at her real quick.
Daddy set the bar real high, showed me what.
I don't want to play that music because I'm gonna get they can pull it down. What's up, Boston Support Atlanta? Good to see you, my friend. All right. I don't know. I don't know about the Cadillac. I'm not sure what I missed that. But what's up, Justice Jane? Good to see you, my friend. All right, so she's over here talking about Daddy taught her how to choose a real man. Now, this was on the 4th month of 2025. This was about 8 months ago. All right, so I just wanted you to see this was her current Facebook. We see that Richard Scott Lee, baby Richie, and we see her. I miss my best friend in heaven, Angel. This was 2025 in October. All right. So you can see kind of who she is, how she moves. You know what I'm saying? All right. Frustration speculation says I emailed you. All right, cool. What did you email me about? What and when did you email me, my friend? All right. I don't know what your name is, but another creator, Alaskan Avenger, didn't short. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I've heard of the Alaskan Avenger. Is that you that emailed me? Are you Lisa? All right. Anyway, I'll get that. What's up, Country Bumpkins 24? Much love. I just love you. I love your name, really. All right. I'm not country, but I can be country, y'all. I love me some country. All right. I got you, girl. Thank you. I got you. From a drug-infested town, lost my little brother. All right. Listen. And I apologize. Prayers for all you going through any of this. All right. So there we go. There she is. That's a picture I used on my first thumbnail. She's got a tattoo on her face. Beautiful young lady, 22 years old. May she and baby Richie rest in peace. All right, so there you go. There's your footage, my loves, whoever was up there. Let me put this down real quick so y'all can see this. For all of you that sent me things that wanted me to share, there it is. All right, now let's get into this evil probable cause affidavit with no other than Matt Thibodeau. All right, he's going to wrap this up for us without doing 18 pages, and so I can chat with y'all.
The probable cause affidavit for Courtney and Brad Bartholomew has been released. I'm going to go over some of this right now with you guys. I'll post all of the documents on my FB page and my X if you guys want to read these. Also, trigger warning, some of this stuff is graphic. So it says that on November 4th, 2025 at 12:44 in the afternoon, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a call from Kimberly Park, Rebecca K. Park's sister, letting them know that Rebecca had not been seen since November 3rd at approximately 11:30 at night. And this was on the street of Courtney and Brad.
All right. So now if you think you heard this earlier, you didn't, because what I read you earlier was just the top of the top of the I can't even think of it. Just the tip of the iceberg is what I showed you. And that was for Kimberly, who in turn just lies and lies and lies. Do I think she was with the baby daddy by her own choice? I absolutely do. I absolutely think that guy played the role and he acted like Rico Suave, right? And he also, I believe that he also wanted to keep it in the family. May she rest in peace and the baby. All right, let's go.
Bartholomew's residence. A deputy went and spoke with Courtney Marie Bartholomew, who is Rebecca's biological mother, who said that she last saw her daughter leaving her residence with an unidentified person around 8:30 p.m. on November 3rd. Courtney said that she ended up picking Rebecca up earlier that evening so that they can go and get some ice cream from Culver's. I guess later that evening, Rebecca needed Tide Pods to do laundry. Courtney said she had some at her house, so instead of bringing Rebecca back home, she brought her back to her residence so that she could give Rebecca Rebecca some Tide Pods. Once they were back at Courtney and Brad's place, Rebecca said that she would just stay there because someone was going to pick her up. This right here is a lie. Courtney reported to Deputy Reed that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiancé, Richard Fowler, regarding her location later that night. Courtney informed Rich she did not know where Rebecca was and that she had left with a friend. Now, remember those text messages I shared at the beginning of this case? Courtney was the one that was incessantly texting Rich that night, letting him know that Rebecca had gotten into some random person's vehicle.
Now, remember the evil plot that happened here. They knew what they were doing. This was a conspiracy all messed up. All right. They didn't need to do any of this. They shouldn't have done any of this. But what ultimately happened is disgusting. All right. What's up, Curly Blue? Good to see you. Glad you're here. And Dale, always a pleasure. I live in Cadillac, Nettie. Is that Michigan? All right. My baby son is in active addiction. He lives 4 hours from in a tent of the city. I've told him 30 days clean. We'll get him a room. Heartbreaking. Prayers to you, my friend. Prayers. All right, let's keep going. We got a long one here.
And Richard wasn't responding back to her. And Courtney actually ends up contradicting herself at a later time because she says that she texted Kimberly, her other daughter, around 11 to get Rich's number so that she could text Rich and let him know that.
Which, by the way, this methed up plan, you guys, is, I mean, once law enforcement checked the pings and checked the stories, these people were just, I mean, they're just all messed up. That's all I could say. That's all I could say. Hey, fam, this case is wild. I agree. But y'all want to know, so I'll keep on bringing the updates.
Rebecca had left with someone around 11:30. The next day, when Kimberly noticed that Rebecca was still missing, she ends up seeing where Rebecca's phone was last pinging. She tells her mom, Courtney, where the phone is pinging, and Courtney says that she goes to that location, and that's where she finds the phone by the 2-track. She assumed at that moment that Rebecca had gotten out of the vehicle she was in to use the bathroom and dropped her phone. And you know what she does with that phone after? She drives it to Rich's house. She doesn't give it to law enforcement. She brings it to Rebecca's fiance. On Wednesday, November 5th, Kimberly actually.
And you know, when they go find the phone, they knew exactly where the evidence was. What's up, Mary Beth Carswell? Good to see you, my friend. Kathy says meth kills their brains, hence they made a right mess of the situation. It's so evil when somebody can plot something like that. That is just pure evil. I don't know what else to say about that. It was the family. Miss Kelsey, that's her mom and her stepfather, her sister, and her fiance were all involved. And when she took her last breaths, she knew they were taking the baby and ripping it from her stomach, and then they sliced her right across the neck. All right? They watched her take her last breath, and they didn't even care.
Goes to Wexford County Sheriff's Office, and she's playing recordings from Courtney Bartholomew where Courtney is blaming other people for possibly having a hand in Rebecca's disappearance. And Wexford County Sheriff's Office looked into these different things and found them all to be untrue. On November 11th, 2025, Courtney Bartholomew's sister actually reached out to authorities and let them know that on October 28th, Courtney had texted her and let her know that she had given birth to a son and was asking her for baby items. A few days later, on November 3rd, 2025, Courtney sends her sister a message letting her know that her son had passed away. She didn't know how he died. She assumed maybe he wasn't getting air. How convenient that this fake made-up baby that Courtney claims that she had just given birth to at the end of October died.
And this is why I'm telling you, as the story continues, all right, as the story continues, you can see that the main motive of this case was to take the baby and to keep it alive. Because it's all messed up and they didn't do the right things, the baby died. Now, Andrea, the baby is going to be found possibly, unless it went and got dumped already. So I don't know if you know, Andrea, but they took the baby, they tried to revive the baby, they couldn't. They put the baby in a cooler, in a bag, and then they dumped it into a trash that wasn't related to them. So we have an idea of what happened to the baby. We now know the baby's not alive, and we're not looking for a child that's alive. And to throw a baby like that in the trash is disgusting and evil as well.
On the same day that Rebecca goes missing and the same day that her baby is believed to have been taken out of her womb. Courtney is then questioned again by officers, to which she starts divulging that she was planning on divorcing Bradley, her current husband, and that Rebecca and Rich, the father of her baby, actually had broken up and Courtney had commenced a relationship with Rich.
You see that? You hear how many people are sleeping with who? She was 38 weeks ahead. As a matter of fact, 3 days before this, they took her into the hospital because she thought she was giving birth, but she wasn't. That's how far along she was.
Daughter's fiance. Courtney said that she became pregnant and she was unsure if the baby was Bradley or Rich's. Courtney tries to paint this narrative that Rich is abusive and that she was trying to get Rebecca away from Rich for Rebecca's safety, but I think that we all know that Courtney probably wanted to get back with Rich. Courtney told officers that on November 2nd, 2025, Rebecca had actually gone to the Cadillac Munson Hospital because she thought that she was going into labor, but it turns out that she actually wasn't. She was only 1 centimeter dilated. So when you look at the timelines of stuff, it seems like Courtney was planning to take Rebecca's life and to try and take her baby.
That is the huge motive in this, but they messed up. I'm telling you. And in the probable, thank you for saying that. Listen, she didn't have shoes on in the probable cause in the affidavit. She didn't have shoes on. We're not going to read the 18 pages. Otherwise, we'll be here all night and I won't get to get out the whole story. Absolutely. That was her bio mom and her bio sister. Also, her baby daddy / fiance. All right. Everybody was in the family of some sort. She wanted to steal the baby. Absolutely. They tried and they failed.
To make it seem like she had given birth to that baby
You see it?
herself. And this
You
is
see-
further indicated on Tuesday, November 25th, when Rebecca K. Park's body was found. Rebecca's body had 6 sharp force wounds on her back, 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area, 2 to the neck, and at least 2 to the face. She also had her abdomen cut open. The placenta was said to have been hanging from that wound with the umbilical cord attached. There was no baby, though.
And see, that's why they knew that the baby was no longer alive, because of the way the body was left, you guys. All right. That is why initially law enforcement said they charged for an unborn baby or a dead, whatever. All right. What's up, Sarah Hewlett? Good to see you. And y'all, if you guys need a break, please take one. I know this is brutal. Again, trigger warning. That's all I can say about that. Choo choo. Hey, squad, what is up? Cirrus, good to see you, my friend. My goodness, this case gets hard, but I'm glad we're doing it together. And I see how many people are out there asking, what's the update? What's the update? Well, here's the update, and it's really hard to swallow. And I agree. I think these are absolutely the end of times. All right. Now, listen, did you hear that? Here's the plot twist. There's a lot of plot twists, but here's the thing. They were already trying to set this up by saying that that Rebecca's sister Kimberly was due to have a baby. She was planning a fake pregnancy so they can steal Rebecca's and pass it off as her own. All right. So now you see, Panda Ann, good to see you, my friend.
Authorities ended up obtaining warrants for Courtney and Brad's phones, which pinged them not only by where Rebecca's phone was found, but also by where her body was found prior to her body being found. Once Courtney and Brad were notified that this was a homicide investigation and that authorities were likely looking at both of them, they began turning on each other. Brad was trying to paint Courtney out to be this abusive, manipulative woman. She was trying to do the same about Brad. Courtney said that Brad actually attacked Rebecca with a knife to the throat and then took the baby out of her and then put the baby who was deceased in a trash bag and then in his blue work cooler. Brad is saying that Courtney was the one that did that, and he actually witnessed her doing it and watched her bury Rebecca's body in leaves where she was ultimately found.
Do you see how it's coming out? And everybody's blaming everybody else. All right. And I knew it was going to be horrible. I just didn't know it would be this bad, Sabrina. Mama Sage, good to see you. Huge trigger warning. You can see below I have a trigger warning. This case is rough. It's rough to read this case, guys, and put things together and have to read it again and then go over it with y'all again. So I do appreciate you, and I appreciate your kindness under your scars. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's help Jay help her Christmas family. She helps. The family is a bunch of vultures. Yes, it is. Amen. Amen under your scars, and thank you. Love from Lynn in Vermont, and love from Cali, baby. Love from Cali. All right. Let's keep going.
Brad said that Courtney was mad because Rebecca was always bad-mouthing her and wouldn't give her a chance to be a mom. So Bradley confirmed that Courtney wanted Rebecca's baby for herself. Brad said that after Courtney removed the baby, they ended up going back home. Courtney was holding the baby. Brad said that he didn't ever see the baby take a breath, didn't ever hear the baby whimper or cry or anything. Once they got back home, Courtney brought the baby into her room and attempted to do CPR on him. Brad also did, but were unsuccessful. Bradley said that it was Courtney who put the baby in a bag and then in the cooler, and they ended up disposing him in a GFL tote at a house north of their residence where there had been some logging done recently. Once Courtney is faced with all of this new information against her, she claims that Brad was the one that attacked Rebecca, and then she admits that she did actually cut the baby out of Rebecca, but
Do you hear that? Do you hear what's happening here? And Tracy, they did not find the baby. The baby was discarded like trash, and I'm not sure they're ever going to, if they actually dumped the baby where they said they did, in a trash can that was not connected to them. All right. And now listen, Amy, you say I don't think Rich was involved. He was scared because of his drug involvement, but Brad's a scum. Courtney's worse. I agree. But all of them knew that this was going to happen. And you'll see as we continue to move forward. All right. How much did he know? I'm not sure, but he's implicated pretty heavily, and he's not locked up right now. I know. Disgusting. Sick monsters, you guys. Sick AF. All right, let's keep going. I know it's hard, but y'all want to know. I mean, since the first day we covered this, we wanted to know what happened. Where's the baby?
she was doing it to help the baby. She wanted to get the baby alive so that she could bring the baby to Rich, the baby's father. So if you guys want to read all of this, go to my page. I will put this all on my FB as well as on my X. There's a lot of back
And again, I have that, guys. We're gonna put it up. We're gonna go over the quick, brief one. And I can't understand why Kimberly is not in, why she is not locked up, because we're going to listen to that next, guys. And then y'all can go read it for yourself over on my channel, Ghost. What's up, Melly Rivera? Good to see you, my friend. You can go read it over there. But yeah, they're living upside down. It's just a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of lies and an evil plot. All right. And I just want you to see like some of the court moments. I want you to see the sister and how frumpy and ridiculous. That way we can move to each character and you guys will know what I'm talking about. All right. Because we are going to deep dive into this case even further. And when we do, okay, this is the sister. When we do dive into this case, I'm still going to continue to break down each person as it comes. So Kimberly has been out there talking to people on TikTok and YouTube. And do y'all want to know what she's saying? 222. Say a prayer that baby Richie is found and laid to rest, and that we get justice for Rebecca. All right. Hey, Mom, love you. Good to see you. I didn't see you yesterday because chat was flying, but thank you, Mom, for being here. Millie, it's always good to see you. Now, looking back, I think Kimberly was jealous of Rebecca. Yes, Kimberly and Courtney, and they've stated that all throughout this. Let's go. It wouldn't be right if I didn't go through every single piece of evidence that I have, and we'll just do more episodes.
So the PCA probable cause affidavit for Rebecca K. Park's sister, Kimberly Park, has been released. We're going to go through it right now. Brace yourselves. This is crazy. So the PCA starts by saying that on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, Kimberly reported her sister as not being seen since the night prior. She said she was last known to be with her biological mother, Courtney Bartholomew, at Courtney's residence. We then get into Saturday, November 22nd, where Kimberly Park made statements on a social media live broadcast that she was aware of information that Courtney Bartholomew and her husband, Brad, had something to do.
Now, listen, this part, if you pay attention to anything, try not to zone out for the next 3 minutes, because this tells you a lot about the motive, and it tells you the flip-flopping that she does and the fingers that are pointed at who. All right. Yeah. Meth-induced frenzy with knives and dreams of a baby. You're absolutely right. Evil personified for sure. And yeah, Matt Thibodeau's great. He puts out a ton of shorts. He's on TikTok a lot, and it helps you to get through a case faster, to give out more information when you're not reading, 17 pages. I agree. Straight from hell, steal your soul. Ali Oz, good to see you. I want to show you this greasy mess for a minute after this lying sack of crap, her sister and how she looks. No wonder she was jealous of her.
With Rebecca Park's disappearance. Kimberly was reached out to an interview later that day by a lieutenant, to which she said that she had found out that Courtney and Brad had struck Rebecca over the head, causing her to have a seizure, and when they were unable to revive her, Brad contacted a friend who came and picked Rebecca's body up and took the body away. Kimberly said that Brad had mentioned something about a swamp. During an interview a few days later on November 24th, 2025, Kimberly Park told the lieutenant that she and Richard Fowler, Rebecca K. Park's fiancé, were having a romantic relationship.
And that's where, when I heard that he was also sleeping with her sister, that's when I said, boom, this thing was definitely planned between the four of them. And I think charges are going to show that soon. Now, Boston, Rebecca and Bio Mom were not in contact for 18 years. When Rebecca turned 18, she got a hold of her biological mom. She'd been talking to her the last 4 years. And then this. All right. It's a horrible methodology. I can't even say that. Methodology. There you go. All right. Horrific details and just really disgusting. She found her after she turned 18. Yes. All right. When you see this frumpy piece of garbage in court, you'll realize what her problem is against her sister, and the fact that Rich, Rebecca's fiance, was sleeping with the whole family. And I wonder if he was sleeping with the whole family at the same time. I wonder if he was having an affair with Kimberly Park while also sleeping with and knocking up Rebecca. All right. And there could have been jealousy, maybe because she didn't get pregnant by Rich, but Rebecca did.
One another. I mean, this is crazy. So Richard was with Rebecca's mother, he was with Rebecca, and he was also with Rebecca's sister. Are you all right, sir? The next day, on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, Rebecca K. Park's body was found, and 2 sergeants ended up going to Kimberly's house to question her. During this interview, again, after Rebecca's body had been found, Kimberly discussed again her romantic relationship with Rebecca's fiance, Rich. She also said that Rich had told her that Rebecca had been taken care of and not to worry about it. She said that Richard had told her to lie to the detectives and to say that Courtney and Brad had hit Rebecca over the head and knocked her out, and then they...
But you hear how he inserted himself. So if you don't think that he was involved, that means he shouldn't have been involved in anything. He knew he was telling her what to say and what to lie. Absolutely, Patricia. Absolutely. I think the $2,000 and any other money was an afterthought. It was jealousy and it was wanting that baby. The fact that her sister, Kimberly Frumpy, Greasy Park, wanted that baby, and she wanted Rebecca's life. That's what I think. All right, let's keep going.
Drove her somewhere and dumped her body. This is part of the reason why Kimberly was arrested, because she admitted to lying to a police officer. After Kimberly was taken into custody, she was read her Miranda rights and questioned a little bit more. She admitted that on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, while she was at Richard's home, he told her that he killed Rebecca Park and that he wanted to protect Kimberly by not sharing details with her. Kimberly said that during a conversation with Rich, he told her that something had went wrong while trying to remove the baby out of Rebecca. She reported that Rich told her that Austin Nolan had helped him with Rebecca.
So you hear that we haven't even got another person yet. There's 4 people. And now if you believe that story, we're adding a 5th to the person that took away Rebecca's body after the baby was cut out. Now, Mo, I gotta agree with you. They said the sister had a baby by a bio cousin. Like, is there an extremely small dating pool in this town? If y'all are from this town, let me know. You say Kim's baby daddy is related to them. Again, a bunch of cousin fuckers, right? I hope you didn't spit out your drink when I said that. Maybe I'll call them cousin humpers, right? It's all methed up in the family. Jeez, what do we talk about? Hillbillies? Hillbilly. All right, let's keep going. Oh my goodness.
Kimberly said that Rich was the one that was encouraging her to share certain pieces of information, which was misleading not only people online who she was talking to on live broadcast, but also authorities as well. Kimberly said that Richard was becoming concerned about the investigation getting close to him, and that on Thursday or Friday before Saturday, November 22nd, Rich assisted her with the creation of her accusation that she made to the lieutenant during the interview on that day.
Okay, so if he didn't know, then how could he have even gave a story and told her to lie? Now, Nettie, she spit out her drink, so I did my job. All right, you're killing me. Bunch of cousin fuckers. Hillbilly, 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 hillbilly. Yup, not the cousin humpers. Small town, full of meth. My kid walked in, was like, what the? Hey, I'm a hillbilly. Yeah, but you're not a hillbilly, hillbilly, hillbilly like that. I'll tell you that. That gives a bad name to the banjos and the hillbillies, all right? I am all about country, all right? I like being out in the country. I went to high school in the freaking in literally the cowboy capital of the world was where I went to high school. All right. So I don't have nothing to do with that. But this gives a whole new level to a whole new meaning to cousin fuckers. All right. Just saying.
According to law enforcement, there appeared to be additional unsubstantiated knowledge that Kimberly Park had about Rebecca. This included a statement about Rebecca possibly having been stored in an unknown location. After this, Richard was arrested, to which he was said to have not been cooperative at all with authorities. This Austin Nolan guy, who Rich claims helped him take care of Rebecca, was questioned. He denied having any involvement in any of this. He also was able to showcase his cell phone. Law enforcement extracted data from his phone, which indicated that he was not in Wexford County on November 3rd or 4th. So they were able to confirm that that was untrue. Austin had nothing to do with Rebecca K. Park's disappearance and or death. They also did a search warrant on his vehicle and didn't find anything of evidentiary.
And that's why I'm telling you, it's odd that he's out, but I think they're going to rearrest him with the correct charges at some point. And absolutely, I don't understand. That was my number one thought, Connie. Why in the world wouldn't they just let her give birth to the baby? She was already dilated. They could have said, hey, we're going to drive you to the hospital and took the baby. But I believe the reason it was so brutal was because of the jealousy, because of the animosity. I mean, you can't do something like that if you don't have those nasty, evil, disgusting thoughts. All right. Jay, you and I used to sing along to country songs when you were little. I did, and I still love those country songs that we used to sing to, Mom. You know me, I like country. Mab, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Imagine that family reunion. It's all in the family, folks. Let's go. My cousin's my baby daddy. Awful.
Value connecting to Rebecca K. Park in his vehicle. He did admit that he had a romantic relationship with both Kimberly and Rebecca at one point, but he was not involved in any of this. So that's why Kimberly was arrested. My question now is, why was Richard lying to Kimberly and trying to say that he was the one that did something to Rebecca? It just doesn't make sense. Could she have been lying on him to protect Courtney, her biological mother? It's possible. You guys know that as information and documents come out, you can find them here on my.
And you can find him on mine. Thank you, Matt Thibodeau. You got a grand, sister. Did you get that grand from the Dolly Vision Turtle Island winnings? And by the way, I want to see your belt. Mr. Mab is the king of Turtle Island. He got a championship belt with his face and his name on it. I want to see it. I want to see it. All right, I drove past there on the way. All right, guys, let's pull this down. I want to show you the frumpy, greasy sister for a moment, and then I'm going to show you some other really messed up stuff. Bump. All right, it's always good to see y'all. All right, I'm glad y'all got out of that town. Their thought the process was mathed up. I agree. Did you receive your belt yet, sir? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we start to see more arrests coming. All right, if it's true that there was a second individual that took the body, then we're going to see other arrests. Debbie 425, shout out to you. Hello, just subscribed from Greenville, Michigan. Welcome to Guilty of Crime Crew, where you're part of the family. Let's go. Let's look at this frumpy, nasty beast, and then we're going to talk about the new plot twisted details in this case. All right. I hope y'all have your notes ready. All right. Get your notes ready. Let's look at this frumpy, greasy biatch. I like that. All right. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I just wanted you to see a little bit. She's not being held anymore. She's out and Rich is out. And this chick is talking. All right. If you want me to continue this, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you see the hype, please hype it, because we are going to dig into her. We're going to dig into Richard, and we're going to dig as deep as we can with what we have. All right. Yeah, the sister's nasty and jealous, and she tried to do that. She was plotting on her sister for a minute. All right. What's up, Love J, Dale? I got my notebook. Y'all, there might be a test after this. I'm sure I wouldn't have won if I didn't have Mrs. Mab. I'm all for Mrs. Mab. She's awesome. All right, let's watch just a little bit of this, and then we're gonna get into more details to blow y'all's mind. I just want you to see how she moves.
This is case number 254947FY. Again, the people of the state of Michigan versus Kimberly Sue Park. Appearances, counsel.
Joanna Carey for the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Patrick Cherry on behalf of Mrs. Park.
Thank you. And we are here for a probable cause conference. Counsel, I'm assuming there is no resolution in this case.
There is no resolution, Your Honor, and we would ask,
Not.
I assume it's both of us asking that.
I mean, do you see why this nasty beast of a woman is jealous and her baby daddy's her cousin, and then she's plotting on her sister? You see this greasy, frumpy piece of trash? She's a piece of trash, in my opinion. She could have stopped this. Another waste of space. All right, guys, it's free. We have 210 people. It's definitely free to hit that like button for your girl. All right, and thank you. All right, let's keep going.
This matter be reset. We still do not have discovery, and it has not been provided to the defense.
Mr. Cherry.
That's correct, Your Honor. I've never had an issue getting discovery from Ms. Carey's office before. I'm curious as to what's taking law enforcement so long to get me a recording of the interview or things like that, and certainly I'm sure Ms. Carey will get on them in the next week to do that. But because I don't have the discovery, there's nothing for us to discuss yet, so I think we have to adjourn the hearing.
I understand. The court is well aware of the complexity of this case and the number of agencies involved with the investigation. Ms. Carey, Mr. Cherry, how long do you?
She doesn't look like she wants to be there, does she? Mr. Mab, you missed a lot, my friend. We're gonna get into it. Stay here, because right after I show this clip, you'll hear the gist of what happened.
To adjourn the probable cause conference.
This is the probable cause affidavit. I just want you to see how this greasy, frumpy piece of trash moves, because we are going to cover her interview.
And try to get it in.
I will only say that no contact means no contact.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Carey,
Remember, she's out.
No, thank you.
we're adjourned on this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Adjourned now for approximately 3 months.
Hold on, I want you to see this just for a second. This is the nasty mom. And the reason I pulled these up, because I don't want to play the whole thing, obviously, and I don't want to have to do it in multiple episodes by making you trudge through and try to get through these nasty, evil people in court. But each one kind of goes through so you can get an idea of these evil, nasty, disgusting people. This is her mom. This is her biological mom that should have been grateful for meeting Rebecca, her daughter, and being able to be a grandma. But instead, what did she do? Oh, she decided to, cut her daughter's baby out and, then have her husband slit her neck. Dating family should be marked off limits if you're normal, right? Yeah, none of this should have happened. Nasty, disgusting, evil people. All right, let's continue. She does look like pure evil. Guys, if I was in the same room with her, I would be scared to be right next to her. She looks like she's about to just come out, and if looks could kill.
Probable cause conference. Before we get to that, I will note the file there's a second amended complaint. I know we addressed this when we arraigned Ms. Bartholomew on the first amended complaint, and that was adding the phrase "and or" to the venue. I arraigned her on the first amended complaint based on the "and or," but I'll just note the file that has the record that second amendment has not been filed with the court. As I said, we're here for probable cause conference. Again, I'm assuming there's no resolution in this case. Am I accurate on that?
Correct. That's correct, Your Honor.
I know based on the prior case, discovery has been still in the process of being put together. Ms. Carey, any requests to it?
Yes, I would request that this be set out.
Any objection to that?
Your Honor, I have no objection to that. I have discussed the set out with my client. We would waive any 21 days in this case pursuant to the court rules. There are some ongoing conversations that are being had with the prosecution, and we do anticipate that prior to any preliminary examinations in this case. There will be some motions filed in anticipation of that hearing. So
Now, if you guys forgot about this, I want you to know, and it's only about 2 more minutes. I'm just going to show you this. She literally thought she was going to get out, and she asked the judge to give her a lower bond because she needed to go home and take care of her 14-year-old son. Go figure. You think she's ever getting out? Probably not. Definitely wouldn't want to run into her in a dark alley, right? Oh, I bet she's having a crazy, crappy. Yes, Mama said she's 40. Okay, you guys tell me. Tell me. I'm 46 years old. All right. Even closer to 47 now. That lady's 40. First of all, make that make sense. And then if you ever question if Jay from Guilty of Crime is on something or takes something, just say, have you seen that video with the lady that's all messed up? She had a knife. She kept to drain her own cellulite. That's freaking nasty. Yes, she is 40 years old, Emily. 40. All right. Make that make sense. That's what drugs will do to you. I'm telling you. All right. Let's keep going.
we would ask for this to be adjourned out for approximately 3 months.
For PCC,
Yeah.
3 months?
I would say 30 days for PCC, Your Honor. Let me rephrase that. Thank you.
Any objection, Ms. Carey?
No, thank you.
Then based on the stipulation, we will set this out for a new PCC
Yo.
after 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the record?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Carey?
No, thank you.
She's 40 years old. I assure you. Okay.
All right, thank you. We're adjourned on this case.
Oh, and she's in a wheelchair too. Go figure. All right, one more monster, one more methed up dude, and literally it's only like a minute and 40 seconds on 1.25. There is the stepfather of Rebecca and the husband of that evil piece of trash we just saw, Courtney Bartholomew.
All right, this is the case of People's State of Michigan versus Bradley Allen Bartholomew, case number 254995FY. Parents' counsel.
Joanna Carey for the people.
Carrie Mihas for Bradley Bartholomew.
Nicole Smith for Bradley Bartholomew.
Right, thank you. You may be seated. We are here for a probable cause conference, and I see there is no resolution and discoveries pending.
And by the way, guys, this guy is, I believe they said he was either 42 or 47, but I don't even think he has teeth anymore. Just saying. All right. Somebody says, I'm a loser. I agree. Nettie, thank you so much for the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. Y'all, if you got a membership, please thank Nettie. I do appreciate you. Okay, 47. I knew he was either 42 or 47. In my opinion, I don't think it really matters because he looks like he's what, 70. No, he looks older than even 70. Just saying. Catching up. Oh my God. You never know what you're going to get on Guilty of Crime, you guys. So just saying. Always a trigger warning, and never take a drink when you hear me about to open my mouth, because boy, I can't help if y'all spit your drink out. All right. How do they choose to gumming it? I guess. I'm a loser. Why don't you kill me, baby? All right. None of them have teeth. I noticed that. I noticed that a lot of people on in certain areas just, they don't require teeth anymore. And Mom, don't even go there. I was going to say 70, but you don't look 70. People think you're my sister. So there. My mom is 25 years older than me, and people think we're sisters. All right. Put that in perspective. Tiff, member for 9 months. What's up? Thank you. All right. Let's keep going. I love you guys so much tonight, Sherlock Homegirl. What's different than every other night? Don't we entertain you? Oh, I guess dentists don't. They don't have dentists out there? What?
So, Ms. Carey, is there any request in this case?
The people would again request that this be adjourned. And frankly, I would ask that you keep it with Ms. Bartholomew's case as well.
Mr. Beyonce,
No objection, Your Honor. In addition, we've discussed the 21-day rule with our client. He understands the need for discovery. At this point, we're only aware of what's on social media, that obviously is not appropriate to proceed. And so we're waiving that with Mr. Bartholomew's permission.
All right, and I see the form is marked to wait in 21 days, so we will go ahead and we'll set this over for another probable cause conference.
Again, I want you guys to know that these people are probably not going to ever get out. The Bartholomews. Mab, thank you so much. Jay, here's number 5. Come on, chat. Let's get it, man. And guys, go subscribe to Mab Investigates. I hope at some point we can collab, my dude, because I just like you. I like your style. Connie Branch, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. Valerie, the $2.99 super sticker. We're almost there. Thank you. Let me take it back. He ain't my man. Well, Mab, whenever I listen to Mab doing the true crime, I just see him skyrocketing. You're going to get there, my dude. You are. And I like your style. So go sub up to him. She's in a wheelchair because she's an amputee, right? She didn't have a leg. I have no legs. Have you guys ever heard that? I have no legs. No legs. I have no legs. Does anyone remember that? Anyway, that's a whole song. You can go to YouTube and type in I have no legs song and y'all will be laughing. All right. Amy says, I like being here. It's a breath of fresh air to smile and to joke. This shit's effed me up. I agree. She got no leg to stand on. Bump. All right, we're about to get to the next plot twist here.
After 30 days to run with Ms. Bartholomew. Anything else for the record, Council?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh,
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. I think we are adjourned on that. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience and the media, I'm going to ask that you remain in the courtroom for a short period of time until we can get logistics.
all right, guys. Couple cut out baby. Missing women left for dead cops. These people are behind. So I'll catch y'all up for us. All right, there. We need justice for Rebecca. We're not done. Here's where the plot twists start to come in. All right, there's more. Sold her leg, Janet. Mama Sage coming in hot. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. Bump. Oh, Mama Sage, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, Mama Sage, Connie, Valerie, Mab, my girl Tiff, all y'all. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into it. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at this part. It made me laugh earlier, and I shouldn't even be laughing when I'm doing this, but it's like I watch true crime so much, and I have to prepare so many times that I just have to find the joy. But you gotta hand it to her. Not really. She can't reach it. Bump. Y'all, by the way, go sub up to Beyond the Evidence 1. Catch me up on the case. I got you, girl. You came in at the best possible time. Let's go. All right. Rebecca Park's baby dumped in a cooler. Ultimately, the trash. 4 people plotting on her. Cut the baby out. Left her. Actually didn't even leave her for dead. Dumped her body, took the baby, dumped it, and now here we are. All right, we'll get you on this right now. Don't worry, Marv. Thank you for stopping by the way.
Own mother, Courtney Bartholomew, and
okay, you guys gotta get a laugh out of this. I'm gonna turn it up because the whole time I'm hoping that Jesse from Sidebar is gonna correct himself. You guys tell me what it is that he says that's funny. And Beyond the Evidence, Marv, I'm glad. I hope you're feeling better. I'm not glad you're sick, but I hope you're feeling better, and I'm glad you're here. All right. Now listen to this. It makes me laugh. The way he says Bartholomew the entire time. Good to see you, my girl Carrie. How you doing? Thank you. Kindness 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you for the $2.99 super sticker towards our goal. All right, listen up. It's funny. I can't stop laughing at this.
Did Rebecca Park's own mother, Courtney Bartholomew, and her stepfather, Bradley Bartholomew, plot to kill her and steal her unborn baby? And once they were caught, did they turn on each other with horrific confessions, each blaming the other for the stabbing and the brutal cesarean section? There is shocking new information that we have obtained from court documents that lay out a nightmarish he said, she said between Bradley and Courtney that you really have to see to believe. We're going to break it all down for you right now with former state attorney Dave Aronberg. Welcome to Sidebar.
All right, now we're not going over the things that we did, but we're going over the different twists and turns and the people. He can't say it. He literally can't say it. Where's Jesse's teeth? Yeah, Carrie, I was laughing earlier. I was texting Tiff and saying, listen how he says this. Is he going to correct himself? And he never does. He just can't say it. All right, what's going on? This is in Michigan. I don't know what's going on in Michigan. I'm in California. Yeah, Bartholomew sounds about right, but he says something else. James, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker towards our goal. Oh my God. And he says it like that the whole time too, guys.
Presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
I'm Jesse Weber, and it's I can't even say what he's saying. It just cracks me up. All right.
Deeply disturbing case out of Wexford County, Michigan that we got to talk about. Now, if you've been following us here at Sidebar, you're going to remember this one. At the center of the allegations is Rebecca Park, a 22-year-old woman who was 38 weeks pregnant when she was reported missing in early November. And what police describe as a desperate missing persons case is alleged to have quickly spiraled into a nightmare of murder, lies, betrayal. The charges, as filed by prosecutors, this is what it alleges, that Rebecca's body was found weeks later in a wooded area. An autopsy cited in the affidavits indicates that she had been stabbed multiple times and her baby had been cut from her womb.
All right. So, Marv, if you just rolled in, you're pretty much caught up now. Divine Dark Detective, welcome to the Crime Crew family. Catching it live for the first time, thanks for letting us know. Let us know when it's safe to take a sip, Jay. Well, you guys might want to be careful, because every time he says Bartholomew, it makes me laugh. Kel just subbed to be on the evidence. Thank you so much. Everybody go sub up to be on the evidence. When I started my YouTube channel, Marv played a huge role in, well, just more than you know, more than she knows, helping me. We collabed a few times. Marv taught me a thing or three. So thank you, Marv. I'm always grateful for you. All right, Jay, we would do a Secret Santa giveaway through Elfster. We could. We need to talk about that. Mary Beth, can you email me? Please email me. All right, let's go. I'm going to spell Bartholomew for you. I'll post it up there. So when you hear him, you'll know it's not right.
The investigation, according to the court documents, led detectives through a tangled web of family drama and secret relationships and what they characterize as a flood of deliberate misinformation. Now, initially, the investigative focus turned to Rebecca's own sister, Kimberly Park, who first reported her missing. The affidavit for Kimberly's arrest shows that her story kept on changing. She eventually allegedly admitted to lying to police, stating she was fed false stories by Rebecca's boyfriend, Richard Fowler, to throw suspicion onto their biological mother, Courtney Bartholomew, and her husband, Rebecca's stepfather, Bradley Bartholomew. Now, Kimberly's arrest affidavit includes her alleged confession that Fowler...
Okay, he said Bartholomew. He says Bartholomew. Here it is. He says Bartholomew, but it's Bartholomew. Bartholomew. Okay? It's Bartholomew. He can't say it, and it cracks me up every time he says it, so be careful. Yes, the bio mom wanted to steal the baby, and also her sister Kimberly also faked a pregnancy and was going to plan to steal the baby as well. So jealousy and the baby is what they wanted, in my opinion. All right. And that's how you spell Bartholomew, not how he said.
Told her he killed Rebecca. But crucially, those specific murder allegations against Fowler appear to have gone nowhere. The murder charge that he was initially facing, open murder, that seems to have been dropped. The case against him seems to have stalled. At least for now, he is facing drug charges, but authorities say it's Courtney and Brad who are responsible. According to detectives, this was just the first layer. The more severe allegations are in the charging documents for Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew. They're both charged with first-degree murder, torture, unlawful...
He says it like, have you ever watched... If you ever watch Evil Dead Army of Darkness, the Army of Darkness is saying some kind of spell. And at the end of the spell, he says, like whatever spell. That's like the last part he says, because he doesn't know how to say it. That's how Jesse Weber says Bartholomew. Yes, he says Bartholomew. Watch every time he says it. Bartholomew. Oh my goodness. It's like a spell and you get... Yeah, it was that.
Imprisonment. There's other charges as well. The probable cause affidavits supporting those charges are chilling, to say the least. They allege a story of premeditation, of a plan to get Rebecca to their home. The documents detail how, according to the conflicting accounts, by the way, conflicting accounts that Bradley and Courtney later gave police.
Now, remember, these people are in their 40s. She's literally 40 and he's 47. They look much older, and they both look like they don't have teeth in right now. That's just me.
That Rebecca was put into a truck, driven to a remote trail, stabbed, and then, while she was there, allegedly still alive, subjected to basically a cesarean section to remove her baby. The baby, the documents state, did not survive, but the baby has not been found. And a particularly shocking element within the affidavits in the description of Bradley and Courtney, once in custody, this is immediately now, they're turning on each other in separate interviews. They're pointing the finger at one another. Their recorded statements, as summarized by detectives, it presents this macabre he said, she said, each blaming the other for the stabbing and for cutting the baby out. One claims it was a revenge plot against Fowler. The other claims it was about stealing the baby. The detectives' notes from the...
Okay, so that's why at the beginning of this, people, I was telling you that the motive seems to change a bit depending on the person that's telling it and the fact that they're all starting to blame each other. But ultimately, if you look at the 1,000-foot view, my friends, we know what the motive was. It was jealousy and them wanting the baby. Now, I think them wanting the baby took precedence over everything by what they did. However, I still think that jealousy had been there since the moment Rebecca met her biological mom and all those really messed up people. All right. The fuck is that blue thing she's wearing? I don't know. Just remember, greasy and frumpy and no teeth.
Those interviews lay out what they describe as a scene of cruelty. So the allegations present a scenario involving a murdered young mother, an infant removed from her womb, dead, a sister who confessed to lying to police, allegedly, a boyfriend implicated by others in the cover-up, and the birth mother and stepfather seemingly accusing each other from their jail cells. So you want to see how detectives allege that they piece this whole case together? I know it's complicated. Well, the court documents, especially those probable cause affidavits.
Now, I don't know that the mom started it all, Map, only because I know the sister had tried to fake a pregnancy prior, and then she was going to pretend like it was her baby once they stole it. I don't know if she started, but the mom and the stepfather are the biggest ones implicated in the case for the actual red rumming of her. What they're doing, they don't need teeth. Teeth, fuck the world. Greasy and frumpy. That's all you need to remember for next episode, all right? All right, let's keep going.
Provide their raw, unfiltered narratives. It's all in the documents. To help us make sense of this, or try to make sense of this legal maze and the shocking allegations, we're bringing in somebody who has spent his career in the trenches of cases like this, former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Arenberg, who's with me on set. Dave, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it. First of all, before everybody knows.
And this is why I wanted to come on with this part of it, because I love when we get experts in this that know what's going to happen and give us a good idea of a breakdown. All right. Oh my God, I'm number 166. There's 234 people in chat. If y'all can hit that like button, we'll get there. What's up, Michelle? Good to see you. All right, let's listen to Ehrenberg. He spells his name for us, so we know. I just want Jesse to spell Bartholomew.
I think everybody loves the work that you do. You have a Substack as well.
Thanks, Jesse.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dave Arenberg, DaveAronberg. I'm on Substack, and I call myself Florida Lawman.
Go follow the Florida Lawman and Jesse Weber. And yes, the mom and both daughters were messing around with the baby daddy. They all had a sexual relationship, all right, with that one guy. There must only been one guy in the whole town, but I do think that he was their meth dealer. That's why.
And I appreciate the plug. Also, you can find me doing videos on YouTube for Legal AF and Midas Touch Network.
This is why we love you. You know, I mean, you have a great expertise in this, trying to sort out what is a complicated case. I want to start here. So with the first person arrested in this case, it wasn't for murder. It was for allegedly lying to authorities. We're talking about Kimberly Park. This is Rebecca's sister.
Thank
She
you.
was the one who originally reported her missing. But according to her arrest affidavit, it says that Kimberly was communicating with the detective throughout the investigation. But then on a social media live broadcast, she accused her mother, Courtney, and stepfather, Bradley, of being involved. And when police interviewed her about that, she gave them a detailed story that it was Courtney and Bradley that had struck Rebecca in the head, caused a seizure, and then had a friend come take the body away. But the affidavit states that just days later, after Rebecca's body was found, Kimberly apparently changed her story entirely in an interview. I want to look at that document. It quotes her new statement.
And listen, guys, this is why I wanted to make sure that you understood where each person was coming from, because I'm going to start digging into this further with each individual as it comes out. And you'll be lost if you don't, if you hadn't watched the other episodes and this. So Sherlock Homegirl, member for 5 months. Merry Christmas to the crew. Your ears hurt. I'm sorry. You want me to lower it for you? All right. I wonder where the 14-year-old son is. I think the 14-year-old son is probably with the other extended family members, maybe with the dad. I don't know. All right. I'll read this instead of him, and then I'll fast forward. Kimberly Park. And remember, Kimberly Park keeps changing her story. And guys, there's a lot of documented interviews that she's doing on social media platforms where she's also contradicting previous statements. Kimberly Park is Rebecca Park's sister, identified that Tuesday, November 4th, while she was at Richard Fowler's home. He told her that he killed Rebecca Park, which is her sister and his fiancé, and that he wanted to protect Kimberly by not sharing the details with her of exactly what they did. Now, Park identified during a different conversation with Fowler that he told her that something went wrong while trying to cut the baby out of Rebecca, and she reported that Fowler told her that Austin Nolan had helped him with Rebecca, which is a roommate or a friend. Then Park said that Fowler had also been encouraging her to mislead the investigation, and it was the reason that she was sharing misleading information on social media was because she was trying to detract away from what actually happened. So she was on there just lying her ass off, and I still think she's doing that, guys. All right, let's hear what he has to say. I want to hear him say Bartholomew again.
This is like a complete 180, and it's confusing why she would allegedly lie.
Yeah, perhaps she was trying to protect her mother at one point, but then the stories keep changing, and you wonder if there's some mental issues with the sister. This is going to be a problem for prosecutors in that you have all these moving parts, these different people who keep pointing the fingers at each other. I mean, you start doing that, it could lead to some reasonable doubt, even though it's pretty clear now that this was a heinous, horrific crime caused by deranged individuals, and there is plenty of motive involved here.
But authorities don't believe Fowler was involved in the murder. He was originally arrested on open murder. That seems to have been dropped. He's just facing drug charges. So they don't believe her account, which also makes me wonder if she would even be a reliable witness at a trial. If she worked out some.
Now, guys, that guy, Richard Fowler, is also in his 40s. I believe he's 42. He was dating the mom initially. Then he started dating the 22-year-old daughter. And somewhere in between that, he was also sleeping with the sister. So he was sleeping with and sexually active with all three of them. And we don't know about anybody else. We have no idea. But he definitely kept it in the family.
Some sort of deal, considering what she's facing in light of Courtney and Bradley. Is she a reliable narrator?
No, she's not reliable at all because she's been lying to police.
The whole time.
And you have people, I saw Fowler interviewed. He didn't come across as very credible. And now the sister doesn't come across as credible. So you wonder if they're going to have that witness that prosecutors like to have, who's like the narrator of the whole story,
right.
Someone who leads the jury into what happened, because it is kind of complicated here with all these different people, moving parts.
Yep.
So this is a little bit of a problem for prosecutors, although the evidence is what it is.
And let's go into that. So that was just the alleged obstruction case. Right now, the murder allegations are against the biological mother of Courtney, the husband, Bradley. They're both charged with first-degree murder, torture. There's a horrific charge related to the assault of a pregnant.
Now, you know what sucks is, Amy, if Kimberly was used by her evil mother, which I'm sure she was, I believe that Courtney is the mastermind in this, in my opinion. We don't know for sure. However, I believe by everybody else's stories that she did mastermind the situation and used all these people as a puppet. And then she tried to flip. All right. Y'all are talking about 420 here, huh? You say she is, right? All right. She's the mastermind in all this. Not so good, lady. You should probably not be making up these stories and plotting this when you're all messed up there.
Individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth right in the middle of the probable cause affidavit for Bradley. We get to the heart of this case. These are these recorded interviews with Bradley and Courtney after they were taken into custody. And the affidavit describes them being interviewed separately. Not a surprise there. And Dave, this is where it gets really sinister, really macabre, because they immediately start blaming each other. And the detective writes that their stories are a classic he said, she said, but obviously they have this nightmarish twist. So I want to go to the scene using the affidavit. It alleges that in Bradley's interview, he initially pointed the finger at Courtney. He's quoted as saying, "I'm sure Courtney stabbed her because she did have a hunting knife." He goes on to allege, according to the affidavit, that he was there, claimed that Courtney was the one who stabbed.
Now remember, Courtney's the mom, and yeah, I've been watching the lives with Steph too, and the Steph case files. I definitely want to cover those once everybody knows exactly what is going on in this case. So appreciate you being here, the locals. I love having local people kind of filling me in. And yeah, we pray that the 14-year-old old and protective custody. You know, at this point, I wouldn't doubt that she had that 14-year-old also involved in nefarious activities.
Rebecca and then performed this crude C-section. He said he witnessed it, that it happened on a trail behind their house, that Courtney wanted the baby for herself. Then in Courtney's separate interview, summarized in the same affidavit, she allegedly tells the opposite story. When asked, "What do you think Bradley has been telling us?" she allegedly said, "He's probably saying it's both of them." And then she lays out her version. She allegedly claims that Bradley pulled Rebecca from the car, put her in a truck, that he was the one who stabbed Rebecca and cut the baby out. And she claims he told her it was revenge against Richard Fowler for his relationship or alleged relationship and all that.
So are you hearing this? We're an hour and 40 minutes in, and the story keeps changing. Yeah, her alibi story. It just keeps changing. And that's going to happen. All right. That is absolutely going to happen. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, she used everyone, in my opinion.
Dave, as a prosecutor here, how do you sort through that information? And you're charging both of them, even though they're pointing the finger at one another.
Sometimes you just don't know what the truth is. You're dealing with untruthful individuals. And so you charge them both. You can charge them both with the conspiracy. And with the conspiracy, they have to have an agreement and between two or more people and one overt act. Well, you've got that here.
They're charging conspiracy too. Yeah,
that's right. That's the reason why I do it. I think conspiracy is one of prosecutors' best friends, because you can get a conviction when you don't know who actually was the murderer. You can also charge them both.
Now I don't think that the 14-year-old was involved in this plot. However, when you see these people and their lifestyles and all the messed up things, I have a feeling that she already has her 14-year-old somehow doing something for her. And the fact that she was so concerned to get back to him, she's not a concerned mother. There's something going on that she needed him for, in my opinion. I believe that mom was also jealous of Rebecca. Me too. Absolutely. What's up, Snee? Good to see you, my friend. I don't think the kid did anything in this. I'm saying she's a terrible piece of trash, evil mom, and I wouldn't doubt what she had her 14-year-old doing. All right. Yeah, other than covering her ass. That's what I'm saying. Brad looks creepy. He looks evil right here. Well, so does she. Ew.
With his principles, if they're both involved in this scheme. But it seems like Courtney is saying that they're both involved, while Bradley is saying, no, it's just Courtney who is involved.
So, A, do any of these statements come into trial? Because I imagine it would confuse the jury. Or B, do prosecutors just say they're both responsible? Rebecca was stabbed. The baby was cut out of her womb. They not get specific on who did what?
Well, the statements are coming in. Because it's not hearsay, because it's a statement by a defendant, by a party opponent. But as far as whether the prosecutors want the statements in, it doesn't matter, because the defense will bring in the statements, and whoever they're representing will say, oh, look at the difference, the different accounts here. This is all.
Oh, look how pretty I am. I'm holding a snake while I'm all messed out. Again, this woman is 40 years old, people. Disgusting.
Reasonable doubt. You want to confuse the jury so that they're left wondering who did it and why. And why would a mother do this to her daughter?
You're saying at a trial, if they're tried together, defense attorneys are going to be pointing the finger at the other person, saying they're responsible, like in the same trial.
Well, together or separately.
Yeah, well,
They're
separately for sure.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Either way, this is their best defense. That's why they will both have their own lawyers, because it's a clear conflict to represent them both. And they're both going to point the finger at each other. That's their best defense. And now you have the added specter of the daughter, the sister of the victim.
The greasy, frumpy daughter, don't forget. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do this together. Right now, they're being charged together, and I've noticed they're lumping them in when we're covering the story. But the fact that they're both flipping on each other and willing to talk, this will all have to be separated. And then I wonder if the charges are going to be upgraded on either of Richard Fowler's and her sister, Kimberly.
Who was saying, well, no, it was Fowler who did it. Fowler who did it. So now you've got 3 potential suspects for this murder. That's why the conspiracy is crucial for prosecutors, because you don't have to identify who it was who killed her.
And I want to go into the detective writing about the evidence that they were collecting that they say contradicts their early story, supports elements of the crime. So, for instance, the document states that early on, Courtney told police that Rebecca left her house in a mysterious black sedan with tinted windows. It was a story that sent investigators essentially down a false lead, because later in an interview, the affidavit quotes her admitting, Courtney confirmed for Detective Lieutenant Pisker that the story about the black car was made up and never happened. And the affidavit also details what detectives call consciousness.
Look at that in this picture, y'all. Look at the difference here. This guy looks so evil with the dark circles under his eyes, and my goodness. But now you see, all of those stories were lies, and they're all telling each other lies and telling the police lies. So we don't know what's going on, but I do hope that once the trail of the electronic trail, so to speak, comes out, that's going to tell a story
of guilt actions. It states that a state trooper, while securing their home, overheard Courtney tell Bradley that the seat covers from their white Ford F-150 truck had recently been burned due to a spill. Cell phone records obtained via search warrant and outlined in the affidavit allegedly place both of their devices in the area where Rebecca's body was later found on the night she disappeared. And maybe one of the most chilling details from the forensic side, the autopsy report. Okay, it states that Rebecca had
all right, this is the important part here, guys. That shirt is a tarp with holes. That was a good one. That was a good one, Janet Rawlings. Good to see you, Amy. You know what? You're not the only person that lost sleep over this in that community. I'm assuming that you're close in the community, and not to take it away from you, but boy, before I started covering this case, the people that were covering the live streams and demanding justice for Rebecca, that was outrageous. Were you in any of that? I'd like to know if you were around there, or they were outside of her mom's house. Courtney's telling her, we know you're involved. Fess up. Where's Rebecca? How did other people know it? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering how that community realized that before any of this came out. Maybe just because they know that those people are nefarious.
Multiple sharp force wounds, that her abdomen had been cut open with the fetus absent, but it also notes a specific kind of odd finding that her stomach contained, quote, copious amounts of a blue-green chalky residue. Dave, it's clear she was killed. She was brutally killed. The baby, I think by all accounts is dead. They don't know where it is, or we don't know. But the forensic evidence, the actual evidence here, what does that tell you about the story?
Well, it's going to inflame the jurors. The jurors are going to be outraged when they hear that he had a baby killed in this way and the mother's stomach cut open. I mean, they're going to want to find someone guilty. So that helps the prosecution.
Absolutely. And yeah, they did change when I was starting to cover this, thanks to Tiff here in chat. Tiff was sending me updates and I was like, I just can't get to it. And then I reached out to one of the people on TikTok and I asked her if she needed help in, getting the story out there on YouTube. And she said they had it covered. And before I even got to open the document again, they changed the search to a recovery of the body. All right. So yeah, I definitely moved fast. Just a few more likes, please. Thank you, Mama Sage. I do appreciate you. That genius. They think they can do a C-section with no problem. Well, when you're all methed out, I mean, look at these people.
The problem is that although these defendants don't seem to be very bright, quite frankly, they may be crazy like a fox in that they may luck into getting reasonable doubt because there's so many different explanations. There are so many different people to point fingers at, whether it's the sister, the Fowler, whether it's the boy, the husband, or the mother. And there's so much going on here that you need to focus the jurors, keep their eye on the ball, that you don't need to identify who killed them. You just have to identify that there was a murder and that there was an agreement. Perhaps the fact that they were there at the same time, that tells you a lot. What was he doing there? The mother's husband, what was he doing there unless he was involved in it? He was just an innocent bystander?
And it's really confusing because there's these allegations like, why would he get involved? Well, if Fowler, there's been allegations that he was romantically involved with multiple women in this case.
All right, so that's Richard Fowler. We haven't focused on him much. And yeah, right when you put that Amy 222, say a prayer that Rebecca and the baby get the justice they deserve. That is the highly sought after man that they were all sleeping with, by the way, just so you know. All right. And we'll see what his charges, if they get upgraded at this point. He's not in this, and he didn't even get charged for this when he was arrested. It was unrelated drug charges. And remember, all these people, even the women in this area around these people, are all RSOs.
Right. Both sisters.
So, yeah. And I think that, this is idea of like, oh my gosh, was this a revenge plot of some sort? Or did Courtney want the baby for herself in a twisted kind of...
but you hit on that. That's important because the jurors want to know the why. That's the thing. They don't have to. The why motive is not an element to a murder case, but jurors want to know. And that's a compelling reason. You have this deranged mother who wants the child for herself. It's like out of a horror movie.
And again, if she's saying things or he's saying things that are not backed up by the evidence, it does become a question of, do they try to sort it out and come up with a direct, clear narrative and theory of what happened?
Now, if anyone has any guesses on that, or Tiff, if you read anybody local, what causes blue-green residue? I mean, in my opinion, that could be. You're absolutely right. It could be the Tide Pods, or it could have been some kind of, maybe they had some let's say maybe like Xannies or something that they wanted to get her to relax to be able to do what they did. All right. So I'm not sure. I do appreciate you saying that. The chalky residue possibly from the tool used for the C-section cup. I don't know. I feel like they did something to her before in the Tide Pod. There's a lot of things speculating. People have been speculating. Well, it makes sense to think could be Tide Pods, could be some kind of narcotic to help her relax.
Happened to Rebecca and this baby to tell the jury?
It depends on the evidence.
Yeah.
It looks pretty clear that you can focus on one person. The evidence points to that. We don't have all the evidence available to us. Then you can do that. But if it is what we're talking about now, then the better approach, I think, is not to try to lock yourself in to one approach, one explanation. Just say they were there, they agreed, there were no innocent bystanders here, they're all going down for it.
And there's this lingering question, right? Richard Fowler, the boyfriend that Kimberly first implicated and recanted, later said he confessed to her. He's not charged with murder anymore. In fact, the murder-related charges seem to have been dropped. He was arrested on these separate older drug charges. But according to the allegations in Kimberly's affidavit and the statements from Bradley and Courtney blaming each other, his name is all over this case as a potential motive, either as a co-conspirator or target of revenge, a manipulator. And based on what we see in these documents, you do wonder, could there be a change with respect to him?
Yeah, and that's when I say all, because I don't know how many people.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I don't know that they're going to recover baby Richie. But what I do know is that I absolutely believe the motive was to get the baby and keep the baby, either the mom or the sister, either way, as long as they had their hands on that baby. But what they did was they did such a brutal hack job. You heard that. You heard about the autopsy and the different multiple stab wounds here and there, that they couldn't get it right. Maybe they cut through the placenta. Maybe they popped that right when they went through, and the baby suffocated by the time they were able to get the baby out. They were absolutely, in my opinion, going to keep the baby. I don't think they were trying to sell it. I don't, because otherwise the sister wouldn't have faked a pregnancy in order to get ready for her sister to have a baby and then take it. All right. But again, just my opinion from Culver's. Interesting. All right.
I mean, is it just the two of them, or is Fowler part of it as well? So that, I think, is a possibility that they bring him back in. When I saw Fowler's first interview at the beginning, when the victim went missing, it was a little deceptive, I thought. I mean, when I saw, he said, well, you can ask anyone. We were always texting each other all day. We were in touch. I just ask anyone. Like, why are you being so defensive, dude? So I think that there is a chance that he could be charged more seriously. But either way, he's still charged with a serious crime.
Look, at the end of the day, this is a
exactly
awful killing. I mean, even before people were arrested and we talked about her body.
Oh, girl, Sabrina. The torture was the fact that the multiple stab wounds everywhere. Before she even passed away, they were stabbing and stabbing and this and that. And they even told her, they were talking to her. In the affidavit, it says that they were telling her that they were going to take the baby as they were cutting her and cutting the baby out. And then the final words were probably her mom telling her whatever she was about the baby. And then allegedly not Rich, her husband, the other Bartholomew, took her life and cut her neck to stop it and end it. So that's where the torture is, when you see what they did to her body. It wasn't just a straightforward slit. It was everywhere. They tortured her. I don't know where the dump site was out in the forest, but I don't know where the actual crime scene was. We don't know yet.
Body being found. Your mind races to the worst possible scenario. Unfortunately, it's been confirmed by the affidavits, at the very least, about what happened to her and what happened to the baby. It's horrifying to think about. And the idea that the loved ones might be responsible. It's again, unthinkable. Dave, thank you so much for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it, and love that you came in. Dave Arenberg, everybody. Thank you.
Jess.
Thank you, Florida man. All right, guys. So you guys want the justice for Rebecca and baby Richie that we do. That's why we're here. Mab, you're not going to be able to cover this case if you can't say Bartholomew. It's the Barmolothews, you guys. All right, so we want justice for Rebecca and baby Richie in this case. Very beautiful young lady, James. Didn't deserve this. When you look at her social media, she had adoptive parents that probably raised her right, and then she got mixed in with these nasty, evil, disgusting people. You're absolutely welcome, Sabrina. No worries. All right, so those are some of the people involved that came throughout the story. You can see that the victim in the middle, and then to the right are the people that were involved the most. There's her best friend down the bottom, Paige. She might possibly be doing some streaming. I'm not sure. But all of these people have something going on. And then there's the chart of the bio, dad, blah, 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 all the connections, right? Because this story, you need a freaking map to figure it out. All right, you say the foster mom's collecting cloth from all over the world that this case touched and making a quilt. Interesting. Wow. And Boston supports Lana. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. You're very welcome. I appreciate you. All right, there's your chart, my guy. You might need this one too. And if you want to take that, go for it. You can have it, right? I just love you guys seeing who the people are and what we're here for. All right. So we're here for the justice of the baby and Rebecca. We now know the baby's no longer with us, and the baby's out there. Cheryl says, when I heard about the bluish green chalk in her abdomen, I immediately thought about the Tide Pods. I did too. Maybe they made her swallow them. Tide Pods are mentioned over and over. And I would have initially said that wasn't the case because they didn't want to take the baby's life, but they're idiots. They're evil idiots, and they're all methed out. So they probably did make her take that, and that probably also contributed to the death of the baby. Sarah Hewlett, thank you so much for the $2.99 super sticker towards our goal. And Marv, this case is crazy. What the hell is wrong with people? I don't know. But Amy, if you have more details, that would be awesome. If you can email me, not send me cases because I don't check that all the time. But right here, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. Let me know what your details are. If you have somebody that wants to interview, send me a message. I'll take care of it. guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. Also, another person sent me a message about helping with a case, something about the Alaskan Avenger covered and, you know, some hazing and etc., I'll message you back. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. I need me a TIFF, right? Who doesn't need a TIFF? TIFF also, Mab, I got to tell you, I'm going to brag. TIFF does the best merchandise around. So if you ever happen to want to have a merch store, my girl Tiff can do that. She's better than the merch stores that I've used. She's on time. She's awesome, got quality, and how much it is, it's second to none. So we all need a TIFF. And just saying, if you ever need merch, hit us up. We can help. All right. Clar, love you, girl. Nettie, Jeff definitely has some very loyal followers. Thank you, Nettie. I try to emulate, I try to be like that, and I hope that I gravitate towards people that also are. Stephanie Park is the foster mom. And I think, do I have it there? Paige Wolf. No, I don't. I don't have that. All right, guys, we've been here for just under 2 hours. Mab, I'll contact. Yeah, when the time comes, just reach out to me, Mab. Just email me. I can help you with everything true crime and YouTube and merch. All right. Thank you, the king of Turtle Island and everybody else. Danny C., thank you. You have a wonderful night. Mama Sage, James McConnell, good to see you. Paige is her friend. Yeah, it says Paige is her BFF. I'm totally down to do an interview with her. So let me know. Send me an email, and we are out of here. You guys have a wonderful night. I will be back tomorrow on a Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you. Thank you, Daisy Duke and everybody. Mwah. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?